What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about Unit 2, business economic indicators in the business cycle, and covering specifically topic 2.3. In this video, we're going to talk about the labor workforce and unemployment rates. We're going to talk about frictional, structural, and cyclical unemployment. And then we're going to talk about the natural rate of unemployment, and then finish up with discouraged workers. Okay. So first thing we wanted to look at is, how do we measure unemployment? So what's the measurement used for unemployment? So first we need to kind of define what is unemployment, what is employment. That way we can kind of narrow that down. So unemployment is workers that are actively looking for a job but just aren't working, right? So there's some key concepts or key ideas that we need to go into when we're talking about unemployment. This is actively looking for a job. So how the the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they're the ones that determine the unemployment number, and how they do that is they call a set number of people every day throughout the month, and they just ask them, hey, are you actively looking for a job? So what does actively looking for a job mean? That means that you're taking and you're hitting the concrete, right? You're going from job to job. You're going into different stores, and you're filling out resumes, or you're filling out applications, right? Or you've got your resume and you're going to different places, and you're submitting your resume, and you're looking for a job, right? And now you can give up looking for a job, right? And then that would exclude you from unemployment, right? Or you wouldn't you would not be counted, right? But we'll get to that here shortly. So next is, how is the unemployment rate determined? And that's the percentage of people in the labor force who want a job but just aren't working, right? So the people that are looking for a job but just can't find one, that's the unemployment rate. And how do we determine the unemployment rate? Well, you take the number of unemployed and you divide that by the number in the labor force, and you multiply that by 100, right? So is the unemployment rate. And again, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they call and are able to determine that number through calls, right? And so again, it's the number of unemployed over labor force times 100 equals the unemployment rate. Okay? The unemployment rate. Okay? And so what is the labor force? So the labor force is, you have to at least be 16 years old. You have to be able and willing to work, right? And not institutionalized, so they're not going to count people. Like if you're in the hospital, right, you break your leg, you're not part of the labor force, right? Or you're sick and you have to stay an extended stay at the hospital, you're not in the labor force. If you're in jail, you are not in the labor force. That's because you're in an institution, right? Or institutionalized. Also, the military is not counted in this. Those that are in the military, they're not counted in the labor force, nor are full-time students or people that are retired, right? I mean, retired, they've already worked. We don't need to count them again, okay? So now, the unemployment rate for the United States has been anywhere from like 3% all the way to what it's currently now, which is close to 20%. But every month on, I think it is the second Thursday of the month, the jobs report is released, and it tells us what the Bureau of Labor and Statistics have come up with for our unemployment rate for that month. Okay, so the data is taken monthly. Now, there are three types of unemployment, all right? The first type of unemployment is going to be frictional unemployment. This is temporarily unemployed, or you're between jobs. Now, let's say, you work at Whataburger, you graduate from high school or graduate from college, and now you have a degree, and now you can go and work in whatever field your major was in, right? So you were in education, now you want to become a teacher. You can leave your Whataburger job, and now you're going to start looking for that teaching position, right? That period that you're not working, but you are looking for that job is frictional unemployment. Okay. The next type of unemployment is structural unemployment. Structural unemployment is changes in the labor force that make some skills obsolete, right? So these workers generally don't have transferable skills, and these jobs are never going to come back. So, I use an example that, when I was a kid, I knew my friend Diana, her dad was a typewriter repairman. And so he would repair typewriters. Well, after in the 90s, typewriters kind of left the market, right, and became obsolete because of computers. Well, he had to learn a new skill because he became structurally unemployed fixing typewriters, right? Nobody really needed typewriters anymore. They needed computers to get fixed. So he actually transitioned to computers, right? But what this is called creative destruction, right? Is that we've destroyed or destructed the typewriter, right, and the typewriter repair person, but we've created something completely different, right? Other people that is like evaporative cooler repairmen, those people are probably going to see their way out as we see more people getting refrigerated air, right? Again, because refrigerated air, they're going to start making more of it, and hopefully it becomes cheaper to produce and lowers the price for that. So then under structural unemployment, we have something called technological unemployment, and that's the type of structural unemployment where automation and machinery replace workers. So technological unemployment would be like the workers from Detroit that were building cars, and then they get replaced by machines that build the cars, right? A lot of customer service is now becoming automated, right? So you call customer service for something, and you get an automated message where they try to, through a computer, solve your problem, right? So now the last type of unemployment is what's called cyclical unemployment, and that's unemployment caused by a recession, right? And so if demand for goods and services fall, demand for labor falls, and workers are laid off, right? So think of like, you work at a restaurant, and that restaurant is continuously slow, and not a lot of people are coming in. Well, the boss is going to start cutting back on people's hours. Eventually, he's going to have to start laying people off because they're not working, right? Or he's just not going to schedule them, and they're going to be, no longer employees at that restaurant, right? So, and that is because they don't have enough business for you to be working there, so they have to lay you off. Okay. Now, the natural rate of unemployment, right, to the NRU. So the NRU is if you take frictional and structural unemployment and you add those together, that is the natural rate of unemployment. Okay, it's the amount of unemployment that exists when the economy is healthy and growing. And so we actually want some level of unemployment, right? We want creative destruction. We want people that are in between their jobs because we want them to grow and get better jobs and stuff like that. So you want those two types of unemployment. So we're comfortable as a society with having a natural rate of unemployment. Anywhere between 4 and 6% is the natural rate of unemployment. Now, full employment is when you have the real GDP created when there's no cyclical unemployment. So, again, the U.S. is at full employment when unemployment is at 6%. Okay. Now, there's some comparison to the natural rate of unemployment here in the United States and here in other countries, right? That we have a kind of a smaller natural rate of unemployment than, say, European countries. They have a larger natural rate of unemployment. Their natural rate of unemployment is larger, and that's because they offer a lot more benefits than the United States. Our benefits only last for 6 months, right? Generally, right now during the COVID period, they're going to last a little bit longer. It's the idea is to not have it for very long to incentivize people to go look for a job, right? And so, they passed the bill to pay people more right now during the COVID pandemic, that pay them more. And so now they're worrying that people are not going to have the incentive to go find another job, that they're just going to stay on unemployment. Well, in European countries, they stay indefinitely on their benefits are indefinite, so they can stay on unemployment for as long as they want. And again, that's 8 to 10% is their natural rate of unemployment. And they get a larger portion than, say, an American, unemployed American. Now, the criticisms of the unemployment rate is that you get a discouraged worker. So some people no longer looking for work because they have given up, right? Those people are not counted in the labor force if you've given up looking for a job, right? Underemployed workers. So if you're only working a few hours a week, right, you're still considered employed, but you're not making very much money. So if you work 4 hours at, let's say, McDonald's, right, you're still considered employed, but you're only making like $28-30 a day, right, or a week that you're working, the 4 hours that you work. So, underemployed does work, but they just may not have enough to pay for their bills, right? So, and then race, age, and inequality. So the overall unemployment rate doesn't show the disparities for minorities or for teenagers. So those two groups see some inequalities in the unemployment rate. Okay, and so that is going to be it for 2.3 unemployment. Thank you guys for listening, and have a great day.